Nigeria is blessed, but we are not using our blessings. Welcome to the Diary of a Broken Man, where we discuss politics, economic and social issues concerning our country, Nigeria, and Africa as a whole. Today we'll focus on youth demographics and unemployment in Nigeria. 70% of Nigerians are under 30. Nigeria has a significantly young population, with approximately 70% of its citizens being under the age of 30. This demographic structure presents both opportunities and the challenges for the country's development, economic growth, and the social stability. It's a wonderful thing when we say that Nigeria is blessed beyond measures. We have both natural human resources. Everything is in abundance in Nigeria. People may not really understand how wonderful it is to have 70% of your population under the age of 30, which means the workforce is enormous. But is Nigeria using that? That is just another case, for another day too. Is Nigeria using her, human resources? I don't think it is. Now look at the problems we have. Even with this teeming number of young people in Nigeria. First is unemployment rate. 33% unemployment rate in Q3 of 2023. In fact, according to various reports, including those from the National Bureau of Statistics and NBS, the unemployment rate among Nigerian youths was alarmingly high. Hovering over 33% in the third quarter of 2023. I am yet to see that of 2024, and then maybe we are still in early stages of 2025. Okay, this rate reflects a broader issue of job scarcity and economic opportunities within the country, Nigeria. Then another one is underemployment, because to be employed is one thing, to be well employed, gainfully employed is another thing also. So beyond unemployment, underemployment is also a significant issue in Nigeria, where many young Nigerians are working in jobs that do not utilize their skills or education fully, and they are engaged in part-time or informal work due to lack of better opportunity. So most Nigerians are just doing certain works. I usually hear that kind of, well, I'm just using this to pass time, and it's true. Now I remember graduating with Bachelor of Philosophy, and I looked for a job, and I remember going somewhere and they told me that my certification is too high for their company, and I was like, how? So is it now a crime to have a high degree or have a distinction, have a certificate that comes with distinction? Is it now a crime to be intelligent? Not that I'm so intelligent, but I felt a bit pained what the young people in Nigeria have to go through. So many graduates in Nigeria are driving the tricycle, the keke napep. So many graduates are in the building construction, not as engineers. Some of them engineers, but some of them are serving, molding blocks and doing all sorts of menial jobs just to survive. Some are bucklers, shoemakers. Some devised the means themselves and entered into the market, became apprentices. After university education, they went back into the market or into the fields and became apprentices again to learn one job, skill, to help themselves, because the society cannot help them. This is the Nigeria we find ourselves in, where youths are not even in fact, youths are regarded as lazy. After all, a sitting president called the whole Nigerian youths, the whole Nigerian youths called them lazy on national TV, and I think international TV also. Went outside Nigeria to regard Nigerian youths as lazy. Those same youths that are making us proud around the world. Yesterday, Egungun of Lagos showed us two young guys who were able to manufacture cars even without any support. One of them was O-level. All they are looking is just an opportunity to move over to China or to Japan to perfect their art. But who will sponsor them? One of them say just 24 million naira. But you hear every day 24 billion, 1 trillion. You hear different. In fact, Nigeria has bastardized that amounts of money, made it look common. Trillions look common because of mismanagement, because of wickedness, because of heartlessness of our leaders. And so you see a graduate who suffered in the university, after everything, went to youth service and comes back to become a bus conductor, to become a taxi driver. The day I left Nigeria, the taxi man that drove me to the airport, I had some chat with him. I remember when I was leaving, I had to, because it's a syndrome in Nigeria that when you get to the airport, everybody's begging you this, begging you that, do something for me. So I had to get some money so that I'm not delayed. So fortunately, he stuck around. I told him to wait. If I don't settle so much, the remaining I will give it to him, because the young man has a very wonderful dream of, producing an electric car in Nigeria. He's an engineer, and to pass time, he's also doing something for himself, but he uses the taxi as a means of saving some money for himself. So when he is not on his, engineering destiny, he goes back to driving taxi. So I supported him with what I had, because there was no need. If I left, once I entered the Naira wouldn't do anything with me. So I had to give him the remaining money. I think it was 70,000 or so. I gave it to him to support that art he was perfecting. Why wouldn't Nigerians get support from their system? I wonder. So underemployment is still a very bad thing happening in Nigeria. So brain drain and the Japa syndrome, that's another thing we'll discuss. Brain drain. The term brain drain refers to the emigration of highly skilled and educated individuals from Nigeria to countries where they believe they have better opportunities for career advancement, high salaries, and improving living conditions. The migration includes professionals like doctors, engineers, IT specialists, and academics. I told you, I was managing a school, but as a school manager, I was not earning up to 200,000, which was not enough to pay my house rent. I had to make a move. And similar to my friends, my classmates, my relatives, people around me, who everybody is looking for visa. Once you watch your onions, you pack your bags and leave. Find a place you get opportunity. If you stay in Nigeria, the dream dies. The only place you survive is either you are into something bad or you go to the government, because now politics is a money-making machine in Nigeria. Once you enter politics, boom, you become rich. Because why not? It's a national cake. Everybody gets his own share. So, Japa syndrome, Japa, derived from the Yoruba word meaning to flee or to escape, has become a colloquial term, in Nigeria for the mass exodus of young people, particularly the educated and the skilled, seeking opportunities abroad. This phenomenon is driven by economic factors like high unemployment, low wages, inadequate infrastructures, and the poor governance. Have you seen the police and other security agencies mistreating the youths as if they are criminals? Breaking into their homes, arresting them. The worst thing is to give them criminal records unnecessarily. Just come to my house, break into the door, tell me a Yahoo boy, tell me I remember driving around one day. I think I was coming back from Oka that night, and the security agency stopped me. The way they profiled me, thanks to my record as an ex-seminarian, and one of them noticed me. Semi, And that's what saved me that day. Otherwise, they would have arrested me for just going. I think I went to my former school, the Pope John Paul II Media Seminary, and then I was coming back that night. And then the profile, I was so pissed. And I remember other young boys who may not have the opportunity as I have, maybe the dignity I had as a person. I remember some of those young boys who may have finished SS3, who may have finished university or UNIZE or Iboariam, or how they go through. I lived in Iboariam University settlement. How they enter the student hostels to, bully the students. Which way? How will the youths not find a way outside of Nigeria if they feel they are threatened? That is Nigeria for you. Another thing is education and health. The pursuit of better educational system abroad, or escaping from an overwhelming healthcare system where you are sick, and in fact, better not get sick in Nigeria. Better not get sick. And then economic loss. The departure of skilled workers deprived Nigeria of human capital that could contribute to national development. Healthcare. Nigeria faces a critical shortage of healthcare professionals, exacerbated by the migration of doctors and nurses. Education. The loss of educators affect the quality of education within the country. And that being said, are the teachers, the ones in Nigeria, the lecturers, are they being paid? If they are paid, are they well paid? Somebody is teaching 5 courses in a university and is being paid peanuts. He can't even pay his house rent. At some point, the students even have to contribute for the lecturer to pay his house rent. It happens. I've seen it. This is Nigeria. The lecturers, our teachers are so underpaid, so underappreciated for the wonderful works they are doing. A teacher is paid 30,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000 to do what with his family? A noble profession like teaching. It's painful. Now, remittance. While there are upsides with remittances sent back home, this is often seen as short-term benefits compared to long-term implications, losing talent. Now, the broader implications of this youth unemployment: social stability. High youth unemployment can lead to social unrest, increased crime rates, and even susceptibility to extremist recruitment. Economic growth. Without sufficient employment for its youth, Nigeria struggles to harness its demographic dividend, where a large working age population could drive economic growth. Another thing is policy change. There is a pressing need for policy initiatives aimed at job creation, skills development, and retention of talent, which includes improving the business environment, education, and governance. What are the current efforts of the government to, make things better? Government initiatives. Programs like the Special Public Works Program aims to provide a temporary employment but more comprehensive solution focusing on long-term job creation, entrepreneurship, and the skill alignment with market needs. Another thing is potential. With the right policies, Nigeria could leverage its young population for economic growth, but this requires significant reforms in education, economic policy, and infrastructure. This situation demands urgent attention, and an approach to address unemployment and to mitigate the brain drain, ensuring that Nigeria can retain and utilize its youthful demographics for national development. But how would this happen when one person steals billions and trillions? How will our schools be developed? How will our teachers be paid? When we hear ASU strikes, we think the teachers did wrong by going on strike, or the lecturers, or the universities. They should be paid. Pay our teachers, pay our lecturers, pay our workers. Pay them. Pay them. We give minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Can 70,000 naira buy, feed a family in a month? 70,000 naira. And why, if we are going for 70,000 naira as minimum wage, let everybody from the president down to the list of the workers take 70,000. Let's see how it works. Because there are no sacred cows in Nigeria. There is no special individual in Nigeria. that will earn millions. I hear when you look at our senators' allowances, you feel ashamed of being a Nigerian. The House of Rep, the House of Assembly, you feel ashamed that somebody is, just because he attended a sitting, he collects a certain allowance. He collects wardrobe allowance, bedroom allowance, hotel allowance, feeding allowance, driver's allowance, transportation allowance everywhere, allowance, wardrobe, everything is allowance. And money is going, but they cannot pay minimum wage. Some of them can't even pay their drivers. Some of those senators collecting millions and billions, signing off millions and billions, padding budgets, can't even pay their workers. Their staff, they can't even pay them in their offices, in their homes. They can't even pay them. Their cooks, their drivers, their gardeners, they can't even pay them well. They can't even treat them well as human beings too. So why wouldn't the youth travel outside to look for opportunities? And unfortunately, because we travel outside, we are prone to being, insulted, being, malhandled everywhere we find ourselves in. Because our country and our continent has refused to do what it's supposed to do. Give opportunity to the young people. So our people are going to places where they are disrespected, racially abused, everywhere around the world. Nigeria. Somebody said Nigeria. I remember going somewhere, somebody said Nigeria, and I told him, which country is the highest in crime? Let's check. Gun violence. Nigeria. Does an average Nigerian own a gun? He said, what did he say? He said crimes like fraud. And I told him, the number of frauds committed around Asia, around Europe and America. Nigeria is barely learning how to do fraud. But because of the kind of bad leaders we have, any small thing is amplified, and the 0.1% of Nigerians doing evil are being bloated to become like the whole Nigerians are evil. Meet Nigerians. Nigerians are wonderful people. Live among Nigerians, you see the best of people, the most loving people to live with. Remember to subscribe, share, and comment. You are very important to me. Help the page grow. We talk about Nigerian issues. Thank you very much. See you on the next one. Cheers.